Right, that's easy.
Yes. Hi, and welcome to a brand new episode of Sippin' Tea with Suzanne. I am your fabulous host, Positively Suzanne, and happy Women's History Month. I am so excited to be celebrating this month with so many phenomenal women that I know and so many phenomenal women that I don't know that I look up to and I admire. Oprah, Michelle Obama, a few comes to mind. But I'm also very excited to kick it off with my dear friend as our very first guest for Women's History Month, Miss Yolanda. How are you?
I am great, and I am so happy to be here with you. It's always a pleasure to be with you and spend time with you and see you and get
Yes,
talking to you.
yes, I miss you.
I know, I miss you too. I feel like we don't see each other as much.
We've been really, really busy, and we haven't had a chance to hang out. So I mean, so we're doing the show, and I mean, it's gonna be a reunion because it's just been so much going on. So we're gonna talk about all that's going on. But let me just say a few things. So I truly want to say thank you to all our loyal viewers and subscribers who tune in week after week. I truly, truly appreciate you. Shout out to our executive producer, Paul Anderson, for making the magic happen week after week. And I also just want to say, so this week we have the fabulous Yolanda to kick it off. And then next week we have Giselle Rivera Flores, another phenomenal female who is going to be here. But on the 25th, we will not have a show. So as those of you who don't know, on the 25th of March, we're having the third annual I Got You Sis Summit. And if you go to my page, Positively Suzanne, you'll find all the details, all the information to register and attend. Just a phenomenal lineup of, MC and guest speakers and keynote speakers and panelists and female vendors, and I'm just so blown away by the support of the community for everyone that has shown up. And folks have been reaching out, hey, what do you need? Please continue to engage with the post. Please continue to share the post. But encourage folks to register because we do have to close registration at some point. So you want to make sure that it's registration. We are still looking for, I think, 2 female vendors. If you know female vendors, they could go on my page and they could certainly fill out the paperwork. And then sponsors. If you are looking to be a sponsor, that it will be greatly appreciated. If you know anybody who's looking to sponsor something, that's great. The show's going to go on regardless, but if you're looking to sponsor, that would be great. And then if you have any raffle items to donate, absolutely go ahead. So I Got You Sis 3 Women's Summit, and it's going to be at the JMAC 325. 5:30. Come at 5 because we'll be open. Then you'll have an opportunity to shop. And that's it. Go to the page if you want to find out more. But I am just so excited to welcome.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
About it. Yes. I think last year and the year before was phenomenal as always.
you.
And it's just a really great opportunity to connect with a lot of amazing women in this community. So I'm very excited about it.
Yes, no,
Yes.
thank you. And last year you were one of our speakers. You spoke on a very important topic. And I mean, so we never know where the show is because one of the things about the show, it's about authenticity and really highlighting my guests and giving them an opportunity. But, I think with it being Women's History Month, it's important to talk about just how connected we are to ourselves and how connected we are to women who truly stand up for and support and collaborate and uplift other women. I mean, it's a whole vibe.
It is. It is. I am very proud of the women I surround myself with and just that community of women that I've created for myself.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to see them out in that community and
Yeah.
just being integrated into their group. So
Yes, no, absolutely. So how you and I met, Carla introduced us.
yes.
Yes, so I was doing an event
Yes.
and we needed a translator, and we asked Carla, and Carla was like, I know somebody who would be amazing. And then she said, I was like, oh my God, that face, so beautiful. And I was like, yes, please. And you came and you were fantastic. And we knew each other casually, and then we did Leadership Worcester.
Yes.
And truly, that's where our friendship grew. And
I just remember you saying that you thought I was Photoshopped.
like you did look Photoshop, like your face. And I take the picture and I'm
You're so
looking at
funny.
you. I'm like, I take the picture with my phone. I'm looking at her and I'm like, girl, you look Photoshop. Like you have a perfect face in this picture. And I know she wasn't Photoshop because I take the pictures, but I'm just like, girl, like your face is just always ready.
You're so adorable. I love it.
And just simply stunning. One of the most
Thank
beautiful
you.
person I
Thank
know
you.
inside and out. So
Thank you. It was such a pleasure to be there and to just serve my community and to the work that you guys were doing around small business and supporting women business. And I was like, yes, sign me up. I'll do
yes,
that.
absolutely. No, I am always grateful and humbled by the women that show up and do the work and just show up and support. So thank you for being a part of that. And last year you talked about a very important topic, but which is not one that we should shy away from. We talk about, yeah, we have positive relationship, and I love what you said earlier is that like the women that you surround yourself with, right? Because you have to create that community. And as we come across women that, for whatever reason, they're still in their mean girl era. That's okay with them. Like, it's just not women that you create in your community because you don't want to be around that energy, right? So, no, it's just not worth it. But you talked about last year, during your presentation, you talked about what it meant to, have toxic female friendships. So,
Yeah. Unfortunately, as part of being a female, being
yes.
a woman, being successful, being in a community, we're human. Sometimes our emotions overpower and our feelings overpower our behaviors, and we can easily translate that into negativity and just toxicity. And there has been a lot of negative relationships in our communities, in our lives since we're little, right? So it's more about learning ways to cope with that and not get dragged into it, which could be difficult for some people, especially when emotions are very high. So I did want to talk about that, and I know it resonated with a lot of people because we show face, right? We show places, and it's not always a friendly space. But I often talk to my children, do not let other people's emotions and behavior dictate how you behave and how you show up for others. And that's very important for me. I don't allow other people's meanness, right, and toxicity affect the way of who I am. So I have to overlook some of those things.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. And, I appreciate that. And like you said, I thought it resonated with a lot of folks last year, when you spoke it. But for those that are watching right now, any tips on how to separate themselves from like any toxic environment that might be in, or toxic relationships? I know you gave some great tips last year, and it is actually on our YouTube channel, so you could certainly go back and hear the presentation. But, any tips you can share if they're in a toxic relationship, how to kind of pull back?
I think it's all about reflecting on that and reflecting on how is it serving you? What's it doing for you? Are you able to disconnect from it, or are you in it and not able to? Is it making you someone you don't want to be? And that's, if you reflect and you're saying, okay, this relationship is really making me someone I don't want to be. It's making me feel a certain way. It might not be the best relationship for you. And I think that's when we have to really put, like, I use the term putting people in bubbles. Check your bubble. Check your bubbles. And it's okay to be with people in that community who might not be the perfect fit for you, and it could be in a whole different bubble than what you are. And that's okay. You don't have to exclude them from your world or from the community, or but I think it's important to really reflect on how are you being affected and how are you feeling about it. And that will help you determine if that's a positive relationship for you, if it's not.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And for those that are listening, I hope that, if you're in that space, that you're able to heed this advice and certainly learn to separate and put people in their respective places. And, something that you said, I think sometimes we have no choice but to deal with folks because of the space that you're in, of the community that you're in. And again, I mean, I never want to be like, well, I can't go to that space because this person might be there or things like that, because you still want to show up and support things that you're passionate about,
Absolutely.
right? So I think that is important. Like you said, be reflective, put people in their respective places. And, I mean, I lean on my faith a lot because I'm like, you know what, Lord, I know I'm not the problem. So, but if there's something in me,
Yeah.
like, let me let it go. Because,
Mm.
again, we are human beings and we do have moments and we're just like, you know what, I'm just going to pack up and move to Italy. Although it's not a
Oh,
bad,
that doesn't sound so
like
bad.
that is not necessarily a bad thing.
Do that.
Let's do that, especially after all the snow that we had.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm like dressed for spring, because
80 degrees
I was
yesterday.
like, I am ready for it.
Yes.
Like New England, like I'm ready for the spring. But no, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate that. But I also want to talk about, talk about females working together, right? The last time you were on the show, you were here with two other women, Jenny and Harolyn.
Yes.
Yes.
Love
And
them.
congratulations, you guys did the thing.
We
And
did the thing.
I know that there are more women involved in, in what
Yes.
happened, and, just an incredible celebration of your Dominican heritage and culture. And so let's talk about it a little. I know we were on the show, we talked about it, but let's just, the night off, the day off, like leading up to it, girl, I
Yes.
know that you were out.
I was very
Like,
busy.
Yeah.
It's funny because we had a chat going, and I mean, there are 9 women and
Yeah.
1 man in the group, and we were chatting. I mean, that chat was on fire and getting ready and preparing and doing things, and I had the art exhibit as well, and everybody was like, I can't sleep. I'm so anxious. I'm like, I slept good. I trust this group 100%.
Good.
It was such a fabulous, fabulous group. It was 100% teamwork. I would work with that group any day.
Aw.
They were absolutely amazing, and we enjoy ourselves. There wasn't even disagreements. It was just really cohesive work.
Wonderful.
And I think every job, every community event, every planning team should have groups like this.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
So I thought it went fantastic. It went how we expected. We loved it. We enjoyed it. We all had fun. We're already planning when to get together to just chill and
To
spend
debrief,
time, yeah,
right?
debrief and spend time together. So it was a fabulous, fabulous group. Yes.
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 That's awesome. And, I had an occasion to visit the JMAC. When is the exhibit still there?
That exhibit is done.
The exhibit is
Yes.
done. Okay, so you had some beautiful pieces in the exhibit. So I did take a video, those of you who are interested in knowing. Some great pieces, and that was just beautiful. And then the night at the White Room, just seeing so many people in the community.
Yeah.
Just, oh.
A lot of people that you don't normally see
Yeah.
in spaces like that. So,
Yes.
usually when we have a very cultural event like that, the Dominican Marketplace was, you get a lot of people from that culture. But we saw that, but we saw so many other cultures and so many people. And I was walking around and asking people, and they were showing me, things that they saw around and playing with guitas and drums and things like that. And I started talking to people, and there were people from Springfield.
Yeah.
There was people from Lynn. There was people
my.
from other communities. They just,
Nice.
and I was like, how did you hear about us? And they were like, oh, so in social media. And we just wanted to come. So
I love that.
we love that. We love seeing other people from other communities. And I ran into this wonderful couple at that art event, and they were coming from like Salem area. And they said, I didn't think Worcester had such a big, diverse community. And they came for that event, and they were stunned. There was so much
Wow.
Dominican art, and they saw the Diablo Cajuelos, which was like the mask, and they were so excited. They're like, we have a large population of diverse community and where we live, but we just didn't think that was Worcester. And we gave them a different a different view of what Worcester is, which I loved.
Wonderful. That's amazing. Congrats. Like, you guys just did an amazing job and really, really loved it. And I think it's such a beautiful thing to see folks celebrating their culture, right?
Absolutely.
You get to learn about their culture, and it's just amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a great event.
Yes. But while you were doing that, you were also planning a birthday party for your best friend. Yes, she turned, how old did she turn, your grandmother?
105.
Wow.
Yes. She turned 105, still living it up.
Yes.
Yeah, she was walking outside yesterday, enjoying the weather.
Oh my goodness.
She's living her best life right now.
Yeah. Okay, so oh my goodness, planning that celebration for her.
She is goals. Like,
yes,
that's
hashtag goals.
how you want to be.
Absolutely. To live to be 105 and, you know, still be surrounded by family that love you and, you know, just want to be around you and celebrate you. And she's walking and talking and
100%. Her mind is, you know, and she's telling me stories about her days and you know, so it's fascinating to have conversations with her. I just love it.
I know you do. You've always talked about she's your best friend, and you have such a great relationship with her.
We do have an amazing relationship. And, you know, she calls me when I don't stop by for several days. She calls me and she's like, "You're not gonna come see me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. So big planning. So no rest, right, for the lovely.
No rest.
No rest for the lovely, because let's talk about this other upcoming event that you have. So let's talk about this from scratch. What is this event that you have coming up?
Yeah, so this event has been on the works for a while now. This is the second community pregnancy pop-up. Last year, it was coordinated by the Worcester Healthy Baby Collaborative. This year, we're doing it in collaboration with the Worcester Healthy Baby Collaborative, who's a part of Together for Kids Coalition, as well as many other community organizations like UMass, Rise for Health, The Village. We have Worcester Community Midwifery. So we have a great group of organizations that are making this happen, and we're very excited. It's called Community Pregnancy Pop-Up Village, which is it came out of idea from California. They did this pregnancy pop-up where they went in different communities, and they will have like resources for pregnant women from their community. And it's a fun kind of, more than just resources, it's like a fun day out fair where there's food, there's music, and it's really in support of healthy pregnancy. And so they can tap into resources, but they can also enjoy themselves. So we're doing it here in Worcester, and we're very excited. It's going to be at the YWCA, and that's also another collaborative group who have been amazing to accommodate this, for it to happen there. We're going to have food, we're going to have music, we're going to have raffle items. We're going to have, we have right now over 25 different community vendors who are going to be part of that event. So we're very excited because there are so many resources in that community that people aren't aware. They're there to serve expectant mothers and newborn babies as well. So.
And what's the date?
The date is April 11th, which is the kickoff for Black Maternal Health Week. And there are other events on that day. Worcester DPH is also programming other events complementary to that one as well. So there's going to be a whole week of different types of events on that week. But our event specifically is on the 11th.
At what time?
It's going to be from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
So it's 11 to 2, the YWCA, Salem Street.
Salem Street, yep.
Yes, on the 11th of April, during Black Maternal Health Week. And there's going to be tons of resources and just incredible vendors and so many connections to just different things for mothers, different support for mothers that they may not know that they have that's
Yeah,
out there.
absolutely. I'll also add that we'll have different capacity for different languages. So
Wow.
we are working with Rise for Health, which is an incredible organization that's doing a lot in our community for maternal health, especially specifically for new Americans. And the work they've been doing to make sure that maternal health is out there and that information is accurate, gracefully done, and culturally aware in different languages. I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job. So they have a group of currently of 28 different doulas who are providing support for expectant mothers and new mothers during pregnancy, during labor, and after labor. In this 28 doulas, they have 29 different language capacities. So they have it's an amazing resource. And in addition to that, they also have the community health workers who are doing a lot of work around hypertension, doula support, and education around maternal health. And this also include their community outreach team that they're doing a lot of education programs in their languages. So they're from 15 different countries, and they're providing a lot of supports into that community. So I will say that if anyone would be interested in their communities getting some additional resources or just information, Rise for Health has incredible resources in different language capacity and really appropriate for many different cultures.
All right, that's wonderful. Well, that's amazing. And you recently became a doula.
I did.
Yes.
It's a phenomenal experience. I love it. I also work as a doula for Rise for Health, and it has been a phenomenal experience. I will say one of the most rewarding jobs. Work with expectant mothers and really getting them ready and for labor, and then after labor and during labor, and just being there has been an amazing experience.
Yeah. Awesome. So I know that you work with children and family, and that is something that you're very passionate about. But how did we say, like, I want to become a doula, and how did that come about? Like, was this like a
An moment?
yeah, like a yeah, or like how did the the need or the desire to become a doula come about?
Well, the desire, I guess when I was expecting my first child, I looked for a doula, and it was not feasible. Like, it was very expensive. There were no resources in our community. I think the closest doula I found was one in Western Mass, and the other one was in Rhode Island. And its starting rate was like $5,000. So it was not an option for me at that time. It wasn't covered by insurance. And that's another thing. Doula service is covered by Mass Health right now, which is great.
Fantastic.
We need to get that word out there of the
Absolutely.
incredible impact doula have in the community, so other insurance can also see the benefit of it.
Absolutely.
But at that time, it wasn't covered by any insurance, and I felt like this is not something I can do right now. So I won't say that my experience is becoming a mom was hard. I do wish that I had more knowledge, or I had a doula with me that could kind of coach me through it, prepare me through it, support me, and help me advocate for myself in those moments that I didn't know how to do. So fast forward to me working with Together for Kids Coalition, a lot of my work is around advocacy and really helping families find their voice on changing policy and advocating for the needs of early childhood. So doing that work, I realized that there's so much power in the voice and my abilities that I have in my own experiences. And when that opportunity came to do a training to become a doula, I said, you know what, this really fits into not only with my work with Together for Kids, but also my own personal journey. And I can definitely use my own experience with training and my knowledge of advocacy and policy work to really push forward something new and something beautiful like the work of a doula. And I think being a doula is being a support person for someone who needs you at that moment. And yeah, so that's really where
that came from. And what program did you go through, and does the program still exist, and how does individuals connect with this program? Because I'm sure there are more women like you who would love to have this opportunity to become a doula or get connected to doula services. You mentioned Rise, which, hopefully if you need a doula, you'll connect with that, to the resources and the doula. And Worcester and Mass, like, can you imagine you live in Worcester, you want this doula, and you're going into labor, they're in Western Mass, and so I'm glad that there's so many here in Worcester now.
Well, the great thing is doula services are expanding throughout Massachusetts.
Yes.
Part of the work that Massachusetts has been doing really has been to expand doula services and supports throughout the state. So there are a lot more options. It's growing. It continues to grow. Mass Health has a large roster of doulas, and I constantly get calls from people who saw me in the roster and reach out for services. So it's working. People are tapping into those resources. And then the training itself, I did it through Patients Are Waiting, working with Rise and in UMass. So the whole process itself was a beautiful experience because I got to be part of the Rise group of training these 28 doulas, including myself. And that it was such a fantastic group who was very active, eager to learn, and eager to support their own communities, which is great. And they're now trying to train 16 more doulas to do that work as well. So there's also a different dynamics in the hospital where doulas were seen kind of just someone who went in with the patient. Now they're seen as part of the provider group, which is great. So I get to go in and be with the family. And then they're very welcoming at the hospital to the doula services. And they include me in what their planning is, and really accept me as it's working with the family and accepting the family needs for a doula, which is great. So I really love what that cohesive work that has been happening around doula services in the hospital here. And Chantel Collins, which is amazing doula director at UMass, has been doing a lot of work on that. Dr. Hamlin. I mean, there's a lot of people in the community working on that. And I really appreciate the work that's being done to make sure that maternal health in our community is being addressed.
Absolutely. So Dr. Krista, who brought Dr. Hamlin here. I remember the first time hearing her speak and really talk about how passionate, like just so much power and knowledge, and how important it is for services, like the doula services and things like that, and to have representation in that field, the language, knowing somebody who understands your language, your culture, and things like that. All these things are so important. So I know. And then she brought Dr. Sharice, and then there's all this now, like the doulas and all this thing. So many incredible people in the community that they're doing. We went through Leadership Worcester with Rachel, who's she's also doing amazing work in that community. Joelle, like there's just so many incredible individuals like that are in the community that are out here doing just really, really great stuff, and yourself, and so. And Worcester Community Midwifery it's doing a lot of amazing things also in that community, and they're going to be at that event and doing a lot. And we also have a little bit of a surprise. It's okay. Hopefully, we have it prepared. They have a little bit of a surprise. So I'm excited to see them really expand their resources. Yeah, I think that's gonna be fantastic. Well, girl, I mean, I don't know when you sleep, but I know you sleep well. I sleep well because you do not play about your sleep. Let me tell you, this girl, she sleeps. She
I
gets
sleep.
she gets her hours in. But you work with Together for Kids.
Yes.
Again, it is connected because like a doula is like you're there from not conception, but hopefully not. The doula service is not extended that far yet.
No, not there yet.
Not there yet. And but you're there through the whole process, and then you work with Together for Kids Coalition. You focus on advocating for the rights for our infants and our toddlers and our children, and things like that. So you are truly passionate about.
I'm absolutely passionate about the work I do. I absolutely am. I think not only about the work around early childhood being so important and essential for the well-being of the whole community. It really is where everything starts. Is prenatally, but the community itself. I think Worcester's fantastic. I consider myself a newbie in Worcester. I've only been here for less than 20 years.
Okay.
And I absolutely love the community, and I think that when there's a gap, there's usually a group working on that gap. And that's really what Together for Kids Coalition did, was really figure out where the gaps were and where there wasn't a lot of focus, and then just bring that attention to it. So I really love what this community does when there's a problem, when there's an issue, when there's a gap, when there's things that we need to work on about ourselves. They address it head on, like, let's work on this. Let's make sure that this is addressed so we can have a better community. And so we see a community member thrive. So.
All right, wonderful. So we're gonna, I know we've talked a lot about like just the collaborations and the things that you're doing, but let's talk about your business that you recently launched.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about the business. What is the business?
So I am a consultant. So
Yes.
I do consulting and community consulting, as well as my doula services and event planning. So it's all really meshed into the work around community. So whether it's training, whether it's supporting maternal health, advocacy, that's a lot of the work that I do for this community. So.
Okay. How do people contact you for your services?
Well, I guess the best way would be through email right now, which is yramosllc@gmail.
Okay.
And obviously social media.
Social media. Listen, I think the best free advertising,
Yes.
because like what did we do before social media?
I don't know.
I don't know.
know.
We had newspaper ads. We actually had to go out and put things on supermarket bulletin boards. I just told my age because.
Yeah, well, I had to explain to my children what yellow pages were.
Oh my goodness.
And that was very difficult because they didn't understand how do you not have that phone in your phone. And I'm like, well, we didn't have that type of phone.
And we didn't have phones. Like, oh my goodness. I bought my first phone because again, when cell phones became a thing, like I was older, like I wasn't 10 years old. Like these kids are like born with this technology, right? Yeah, oh my goodness, the yellow pages, I remember. You go through that book looking for that pizza place, and then you dial it and pray nobody else is calling because the line was been busy.
Yes. We do. I will say that one of the things that Together for Kids Coalition had been working on for a long time now, it's our Welcome Baby Guide, which is a small neon green, but of course it has to be a flashy color.
Yes.
Neon green booklet that has a lot of the maternal health resources in the community. And it's just QR codes so families can reach. So instead of yellow pages, we have our Welcome Baby Guide. So if you're expecting a baby and you really want to tap into some of the resources that are going to be at the pregnancy pop-up, that baby guide is a really great resource to have to tap into. So it's not a yellow page, but it's a yellow booklet.
I mean, from somebody who's a little older, I do understand it, right?
Yes.
But it has a QR code, so it's modern.
Yes, it is. It's modern. It's easy to navigate.
Yes.
Yeah, and it has very basic
Yeah.
maternal health resources for people expecting a baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you are connected to so many different organizations and things that give so much resources to the community. So truly, thank you for all that you do in the community and the different collaborations that you do. And there's so much more that we're not going to mention because people are going to like when. But really thank you for all that you do for the community and the things that you show up for.
Thank you. I love, and I think that half the work is done by the community by really welcoming me into that community, and helping me really serve them the way that I can.
All right, wonderful. All right, well, I want to shift a little and talk about, things that are not, you're still passionate about, but let's talk about your art.
Ooh.
Because recently, through the celebration that you guys had, now I know you're an artist and, you'll send me pictures of, things you're working on and things like that. But, it was so beautiful to be able to walk into the JMAC and see some of your artwork. So you've been an artist for a very long time.
I have.
Yes. And, what pushed you to show your work publicly? And was that your first time showing your work publicly?
It was. It was. So I think it was a big surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I did a self-portrait.
I saw.
Yes. And when people walked in, they were like, wait, that looks like... and people wonder who painted me.
Yes.
I'm like, well... It's me. I painted myself.
I'm the artist.
So, yeah. So I think a lot of people were shocked because they didn't know that about me. I have tons of paintings, but they're all kind of in my basement.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. It's been more of a me project. It makes me feel good when I do it. It's also very consuming for me. Just like reading,
Yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about reading.
Oh, my goodness. Let's not go there.
Oh!
We'll be here all night. We'll be here all night.
We're going there.
Oh, yeah. So I think that painting for me is just a release moment. And I've kept it to myself because it's something that I do for myself. It's no expectation. There's no time limit. There's no, I have to rush. I have to make it like that. It's just for me.
Yeah, it's personal.
So obviously my family sees me working on things, and that's it. Then I just put it to the side and move on to the next. But that's a me moment. So this was my first time actually showcasing my work, and I actually was very excited.
Yeah, oh, good.
And I loved the acceptance of the work and how people saw it, how I saw it, and I was like, oh, and it took me a little bit to accept that my work was okay because it's an artist. It's really hard to stop. You want perfection, and I had to, well, I'm a perfectionist. You know this about me already. So I had to kind of let go of some of these pieces and be like, this is it. And when I put it on showcase, I looked at it and I was like, but it's not done. But I have to do this, and I have to change that. And that moment when it was in the exhibit, it was kind of like that let go moment.
Okay.
And I kind of needed that.
Okay.
I needed that.
To let go.
Let go.
Okay.
So yeah, and that was my first time, and it felt good, and I think it won't be my last.
Oh, good. So no, what was it like when you walked in the very first time? Like you hang it and then you leave, and at that point you're just making sure it's there, it's on the wall. But then when you walk back in and see your art on the wall, like I know you were excited, but what was the first feeling that came to mind?
Well, it was like the first one too. So I was like, oh wow, yeah, I remember I made that. Yeah. But what I really enjoyed was people's reaction to it.
Good.
And I think that because it was a Latino art fusion, art exhibits for Latinos, from Latinos, to that community, and seeing people from different cultures who
Yeah.
saw something and they were like, oh yeah, I remember that from when I went and visited the Dominican Republic. Or this looks like something I saw when I went to the Caribbean. And just like seeing their reaction was
Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely hope it's not your last show. I'm pretty sure you're going to have a solo show one day.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's very, very exciting.
Yes.
So,
But I do also have to give shout out to Jasmine Gores from Gustangi Art Studio. She is phenomenal, such a professional. She was so much fun to work with.
good.
And she was one of the curators for this event. And she did fabulous. And she had some of her art pieces there too.
Yes.
And all the artists really were amazing. And
Yeah, there were some beautiful pieces there.
Yes.
There really were some beautiful pieces there. So, I mean, if you
Absolutely.
missed it, hopefully they'll do it again. But, you know, I'm glad that I got an opportunity to pop in and take a look at the I was like, oh, like I saw people that I knew and I was like, I mean, I knew the caliber of your work, but it was beautiful to see the self-portrait because I hadn't seen that one. And I think all the pieces were new that were in the show. I don't think I'd ever seen any of those.
You have not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah, so okay. And then I saw some other artists, so it was really, really nice to just see
there were some beautiful art work that I didn't know were out there in the community.
Absolutely.
So connecting with other artists was actually pretty cool as well.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Yeah. Well, you went there. We're gonna talk about books.
Oh no. So make it awkward.
So she talks about books. So like one of the things while our friendship grew was we found out like we're book girlies.
Yeah.
And like we were like, what? And I think did we discover that on this show?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We did.
Yes.
Yes.
I won't go there.
We will not go there like how the discovery was, but we discovered during the show that we're book girlies.
Yes.
And it was a beautiful moment. It cemented our friendship.
We had to revisit at a breakfast.
So we went out and we're like,
and we're like, okay, let's sit down, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about books. So you know, it's funny. I saw this meme that says like your book bestie will send you this book and like, oh my God, you have to read this. It will absolutely crush you. Like crush you. And there's been books that we've each recommended.
That's what we do to each
other.
Like
we're bawling, just sobbing. And then like we're like, oh my God, what? And like after we're done, we process. Then I have to read some light, fluffy thing to recover. And then we're like, oh my God, what's next?
Yes, we don't even put the book down when we're starting picking up another one.
My TBR is just not even talking to me at this point.
Oh yeah, it's like 600 books strong.
I can't. And then like I am on Instagram and like people are posting books.
It's a horrible idea.
It's like, and you're sending me books and I'm like, oh my God, I can't keep up.
I know.
I can't keep up. So when did your passion for books start?
Oh, very young.
Yeah.
My dad is a reader.
Okay.
So it's my mom. Oh, my mom is worse than I am.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. My dad has, with age, it's a little bit more difficult for him to read.
Yeah.
He kind of grew out of it a little bit. But my mom, she still is. And so I always had reading as kind of my go-to. I grew up in the Dominican Republic when we didn't have electricity 24/7.
Yeah.
We lost electricity for hours, sometimes days. So what else can you do? You take a lámpara and you read a book. That's how it was. And I really appreciate my parents' push for reading.
Yeah.
I lost the love for reading when I moved to the U.S. When I had to learn English and start reading in English. It was not fun. So I lost a little bit of that interest. And it reborn. It was, I got interested in reading again after college, and I remember how much I loved it as a young person. I mean, reading also was a big part of me learning to speak English or learning English. So I can't say I can discard completely reading from learning English. It was a big part of that process. And now I can do both. So I can read both in English and Spanish,
That
which
is so
is kind of
beautiful.
pretty fun. Because I get to communicate with family members about books that I'm reading and recommend to friends books that I'm interested in. So it's a fun adventure to do it that way. And you know what's really fun? Something I do, I don't know if a lot of bilingual people do this, but I like reading both.
To see if anything's lost in translation. Yes. Okay.
So I don't read it back to back, but like I'll read a book in English, and then a few months later or a couple years later, I'll read it in Spanish, and it's fascinating. You do lose a lot in translation in many books, but especially when it's something related to certain cultures. So it's, I feel like there are authors that know how to do it well, but then there's others that just miss a step.
No, absolutely. Listen, I'm from Jamaica, and like I'll see sometimes, non-Jamaican folks showing how to make a Jamaican dish. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and they'll like add an ingredient, and I'm like, no. Like, I get it, but no. That's like raisins in the mac and cheese. Like, no. People do it, though.
Don't say that.
Exactly. Like that. Exactly. So it's kind of like, you're like, and then like, it just gives it a kick. And it's like, we don't want a kick. Like, leave it the way it is. So I get it. It's beautiful to be able to read, in multiple languages. I'm only English. Hopefully one day certainly would be able to read more, because there was this book I was looking at, and I think it was only in like German or something, and I was like, one by an author that you recommended. Oh my goodness, who is the author? She wrote was this A Secret Garden?
Hannah.
Hannah Kristen, right? Kristen Hannah. So there is this book, and I was like, okay, fine. And Rebecca Yarros, too, who's another author you recommended and became obsessed. She also writes in different languages, or maybe they translated in different language, because there was a book that was waiting on, they had it in another language before they had the English. And I was like,
that happens a lot. That happens a lot. Where I'm waiting for a book in Libby or something, and they only have it available in a certain language. I'm like, no.
I know, right? So let me give a plug to Libby, and the Worcester Public Library is not paying me, but if you do want to, I will take that check. So the library to me is one of the greatest places on earth.
It is.
And I remember coming here from Jamaica at 16 years old and finding out you can take out 40 books at a time.
Oh, I didn't know it was that many, but
yes, I think it's increased now. But 40 books at a time, it was the greatest thing of my entire life.
Oh my goodness.
When I found that out, I would take them out, read it, and take 40 more. I think I tried to read all the books in the library, and they have millions. I didn't succeed, but it was just so beautiful. And so I love book. I love turning the pages. I love the ink, the smell, the feel, the touch, everything. But I have no more space. I genuinely have no more space.
I know.
I've given away tons of books and bought more books. I have no more space. Do not buy me any, but yes, please. But
do it.
Do it. But so I have no space for books. And, my husband a couple of years ago, long time ago, before Kindle, gave me this thing from Best Buy called Pan Digital. It was like a Pan Digital thing. Like, it's a e-reader book. Oh. So you're able to it was like, and I was just like, it took me so long to like be comfortable with it. I was like, oh my God, why would he give this to me? Like, I'm a reader. Like I feel like I was betraying books, right?
Oh no.
Oh, I so did. And then we were going on vacation. We were going to Punta Cana a few years ago, maybe 10 or so years ago. And I had all these books in my bag, these big, thick books. And when I got to, my bag was overweight, and it was just the books. Oh. And then it was like 65 or 85 for the extra low. I was like, no, I can't do it. So I'm like walking through the airport with like 5 thick books in my hand, because
She's like, I'm gonna read it all in the
Like I did, and I read it all vacation, and I just left them like at the resort because I didn't want to take them back.
Yeah.
So I was like, here you go, and I'm like, after reading at the pool, I'm like, hey, I just finished this book. I don't want to bring it back. You're reading, have it, whatever. So I did that, and that's how I first started the e-reader. And then then he gave me a Kindle, and started to kind of like e-reading, and then discovered Libby. So then Libby became a thing.
Yeah.
So now Libby, you can get the books from the library in electronic form. Okay. Although Libby, thank you. You sent me 3 books.
Oh my God, they always
all
do
at
that.
once.
They always do that. I mean, I've been waiting for 36 weeks for
Yes.
this book.
22
And-
weeks.
And then I finally get it. And it, of course, is the busiest month I had. And then I tried to extend it. It's another 16 weeks. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Oh, it's
that always happens.
It
And
does. It
yeah.
is. So now I'm like rushing, and I do try to read a lot of books because now I had to set it down to like I have to read like max 10 books a month because I can't read anymore. I'm so busy, right? So they sent me 3, and I'm like, now I got to finish them in 10 days, but it's okay. And of course, they're all 500 pages, which again, whatever. So
I think what's really cool is that I actually forced you
yes,
to read a fantasy book.
you did.
And you liked
You
it.
did.
You did like it.
So I read a lot of different things. So Rebecca Yarrow, she recommended this book, Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness.
You were like, I don't know.
Like, I was like, I don't know. At first I was like, oh my God, this mother is so mean. And then I was like, okay, let me give it a chance. Because I'm like, I'm into fantasy, but not like that fantasy. I read Jaina and Kratz. Like her fantasies are like borderline. People like have a sixth sense or things like that, or psychic abilities or something like that. Not psychic that reads you, but like whatever.
Yeah.
And like, let me tell you, this book was insane. I couldn't put it down. I became obsessed. And luckily, unlike Yoli, when I read it, the other one, Iron Flame, was out right after.
Yes,
You had to wait like 2 years.
Wait. Yeah. That happens a lot to me because I read it. Like,
Yes.
As soon as it comes out, I'm like,
Yes.
I need to read this book.
Yes.
Even though I know the next one won't come out for like 2 years,
Yes.
I still.
And then it happened with the last book.
Yes, and I had to
in the
read it 3
series.
times.
And then I had to wait like a year for this book. But funny story, I told you, we were going on vacation, so we're on the flight, and the flight attendant just was not nice. I'm not gonna lie. She was just like so like standoffish. And she walked by, she saw me reading the Iron Flame, and like her whole demeanor changed. She's like, "Oh my God, you reading it?" I'm like, "Yes."
Oh,
and
that's
then
funny.
like she was the nicest person ever. I got cookies and drinks and all the things, but reading saves a life, okay?
Or the last letter.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
We won't ruin it for
Like,
people,
we
but
can't
read
ruin
it.
it for anybody, but I will say, I know, long story short, shout out to Libby in the Worcester Public Library, because I'm telling you, you feed something in me and Yoli, and when you have your book sales, we go there and we spend hours
Oh my God, it's so
buying
bad.
books. So
I've been really good. I've
Yes.
been really good. I haven't been buying books. I've been borrowing it.
yeah, I can't. I have no
yeah.
more room to put stuff, and then then I have to
Yeah.
buy shoes and bags and all these things. So but long story short, we both love reading. We're book besties, and we read a lot. She introduced me to fantasy, and I'm telling you, there's no going back for me because I'm absolutely upset. Like, I've read 3 books now in the Fourth Wing series, and Rebecca, we adore you, but she's on vacation again. And I mean, she's earned it. But she's on vacation.
There's a few other fantasy books that I've been trying to push.
Yes, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I have a few other
Like, there is a one, because
recommendations.
okay, so me personally, when I fall in love with a hero, don't mess with the hero. So in the first book, they gave us a hero, and then the second book,
They took that one away.
They took him away, and I'm really upset about it. So I'm like protesting, but fine. But let me ask you, what's the last book that you've read that like wrecked you?
Oh my God. There's a lot, but I think there's one book in particular that it's true story.
Yeah.
And it's part of Dominican history, and I just always, it just takes me there.
Yeah.
It's by Julia Alvarez, In the Times of the Butterfly, and I read this when I was young, and I read it maybe 7 times. Like, it's one of those books.
Yeah.
And I read it in both in English and Spanish. But it was a time that my mom was around. My parents were around, and it was during the dictatorship of Trujillo in the Dominican Republic. So it takes me there in a different level. So I think there's even a movie about it with Salma Hayek. And I don't know, just that book, I always go back to it. Now, I do think The Last Letter was also another book that I was very upset.
I did recommend that one.
I was very upset, but everybody should read it.
Don't give anything away.
Yeah, so, no, it was a very shocking book to read.
Listen, recommended the book to you, and I'm like, I can't tell you anything, because when I got that surprise, like, it literally, like, I gasped out loud, and I was just like, yeah, that was a good book.
Yeah, it was.
The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. Read that book and then tell us about it, because like we're still processing it. I'm not gonna lie, and every time I think about it, I'm like mad. So, but
I will say, I mean, that one, it's fiction, and
it is.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
And it's trigger alert. It deals with war and losses, and
but
it was a really good book. And I mean, On the Time of the Butterfly by Julia Alvarez, it's a true story, and was also something you know, very
traumatizing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have opened my mind to reading some nonfiction. I have. Can you believe that?
Whoa.
So especially some books talking about politics and things happening now, and just so I can get a better understanding about, you know, international policies and real world problems. It's not just about fantasy books. But even those books are really hard to swallow.
No, they are, because
like, real world is hard to swallow.
It is. And as you said, the book that you're reading, you know, you are reading about it, but your parents were alive in that time, right? So you think about it, you know, when I read about enslavement, and, you know, to some people it's a book, but it's just like, my ancestors went through this.
Absolutely.
So, no, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that, and I'm hoping that, you know, the readers get an opportunity to pick up. But final question, because we are at the end of the show. Favorite vacation spot that you're looking forward to visiting?
You're just trying to get some tips on your own vacation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. All right. There's so many.
Yes.
I love Morocco.
Yes.
I thought it was amazing. I thought the people were great.
Yes.
Bali.
Yes.
Oh, was so good.
Yeah, I've heard it's a 16-hour flight.
It's very long
sending
flight,
me, but yeah.
Oh my God, the food and the people are great, and I think I've came to this show and I talked a little bit about that as well. But if you're looking for a little bit of a quick trip, inexpensive, you know, kind of fun, but still feasible, Dominican Republic.
Of course.
I mean,
of course. And not just Punta Cana.
Punta Cana, please. You know, Puerto Plata is beautiful. Pedernales is one of the best places to visit. It has beautiful beaches. I mean, Dominican Republic has so many great spots that does not include Punta Cana, even though you know, that's what you want. Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Samaná is also beautiful. Cabreras. There's Montecristi. Oh my God, my family is from Montecristi, and it's absolutely beautiful. So there's tons of spots that you can go and get. You know, your beach vacation, still good vibes, amazing people, great food.
The food is amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you came on the show, gave us an opportunity to catch up, because we haven't had an opportunity to catch up in such a long time.
I know, it does feel like a
it
little bit of our brunch
It does. It does.
This does feel like what we do at brunch.
It is. And we're going to go over it again, and we're going to talk about The Last Letter again.
And
we're going to
every time.
every single time. But Monday's Not Coming. That was another book.
Oh my God, that was such a great book. Yes, that's a sad book.
That was, I saw somebody post on it and I was like, yeah, be prepared. I'm not telling you anything, but thank you so much for coming on the show. I have such a good time with you. I hope you know that we are connected. Just 100%. I adore you. And thank you.
Same. And I can't wait to see you at the pregnancy pop-up as well.
Yes. I thought you said, I can't wait to see you pregnant. I was like, wait, what?
No.
Okay,
at the pregnancy pop-up.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you do,
and if I do,
I'm a doula. I got you.
I already have a doula. Yay!
You have a doula.
All right, I love it. Listen, thank you all so much for tuning in to a brand new episode of Sipping Tea with Suzanne. Shout out to our loyal viewers and subscribers. Shout out to Paul Anderson. And as always, this show is made possible by my amazing guests. And today I have the fabulous
Yolanda Ramos.
And until next time.